Welcome back to today's news. There's currently a Category 8 hurricane with wind speeds of over 500 miles per hour. We sent Jamal to report live inside the hurricane. Jamal? As you guys can see, it is crazy out here. The wind is picking up and... Nah, that cat dead. So Jamal, how's the weather out there? Nah, jit, tripping. What you mean how's the weather? I'm in a hurricane. Can I go home, please? Nah. So Jamal, is it sunny out there? Like, what's going on? Bro, it's a hurricane. Can I go home, please? So would it be a nice day to go to the beach or what? Nah, jit, stupid. Bro, can I please go home? Oh! Nah, jit, dead. Jamal? Hey, send us a commercial break. Send us a commercial.
Welcome back, Weather Kingdom. In this update, we are going to be taking another look at the tropics, as we've pretty much took a good update yesterday. Thank you guys for all of the support on that video. That was very nice of you guys, and thank you guys for just tuning in. This time, we are making it much earlier, and I hope you guys like and enjoy. So we do have Fernand still moving on in the Atlantic. It's at 40 miles an hour. This should pretty much become a post-tropical cyclone and just move out into the colder waters, where its existence will pretty much become nothing in tropical nature. After that, do we have anything else? And the answer is honestly not really. It's not a complete no, because we're still watching the tropics. But there is no instant threats into the East Coast, Florida, the Bahamas, any of the islands here, all these areas. Nope, not into Mexico or Texas or the Gulf. It's all X's, at least for the next 10 days. After that, we'll have to continue to watch if environments do get a little bit better. So when we take a look at the general gist of things, we do got an MJO. This is another map. We kind of talked about this yesterday. We're going to actually talk about this even a little bit more in depth. So today, we're taking a look actually at the European monthly forecast base of the 8th, 25/8/25. So it was yesterday's forecast. So this is yesterday's forecast. It's a day old. We should get a new one soon, probably by later tonight. We'll probably take a look at that tomorrow in that video. But the main meme where we are at is in phase 4. Not really going on because it's more in the neutral. But we do see the black line actually go into phases 5, 6, and 7 in the neutral part, and then 8. And then we kind of do this loop, and then we actually go into phases 1, and looks to me, once again, phases 2. Looks like this is going to loop back around. My question is, does this come out a little bit more and then loop like this? That's still to be determined. We take a look at some of this. This is the 1 day. This is 5 days out. There's majority of the ensembles where they are in 5 days. We take a look at the next 10 days. We have any from here to about here. These are the next 10 days. And then even 20 days is in a general, bam. This is the general 20 days average. A little bit more into phases 1 and 2. Could it be a little bit deeper? We'll have to wait and see. But that's the latest update. If we just take a look at yesterday's update, this is Sunday. It was a little bit, it's pretty much the same thing. It's just, in this one, it's a little bit further and closer to phases 3 and 4. We'll have to continue to keep a watch on that. Besides the MJO, we have to look at another thing. This is part of the MJO, but we are looking at the environment of what we could be expecting. This usually does update. We'll get another update in a few days. And basically what we have here is sinking air. This is the 25th. This is about up to the 26th. This is about up to the 26th here, and we're in unfavorable conditions. Tomorrow and days beyond, it looks like we will get into better conditions. You need phases 1, 2, and 3, and 4. Those are the strongest, and that easily suits parts of the phases here much stronger even right now. And then pretty much across Africa, the coast is very average. So the conditions for this is very conducive on the MJO as we get into about September, I would say about September 5th or even September 10th and on. Another thing we take a look at here is one more thing. All right, right here, boom. We take a look at next month's, and this is into October 10th. And this can even go into, October 6th. And the environment is very conducive here, once again, as we get into the 26th and beyond. And then there's this, and then we're pretty much in a favorable conditions once again in Africa. Same thing over here. There's a little break in between mid-September. But look at that. Boom. These are the favorabilities. I talked about this quite a while in my live stream a few nights ago. And if you guys want, what do you guys think? Should we do a Q&A tonight or later this week on the tropics? And you guys pretty much ask me questions while we take a look at the tropics. Let me know what's your thoughts on that. Another thing I would like to take a look at is the wind shear. How's the wind shear today? And honestly, if we take a look, main development region, nope, it is none in sight. The main development region is very conducive. Also, the subtropics, even a bit of the Caribbean, where we do have a little bit of a trough or tut that's causing some wind shear. We are in a little bit better environment, though, with the latest invest, but we still got shear going on. We'll take a look at the satellite towards the end of the presentation. Gulf of Mexico is pretty clear. The wind shear is not an issue, okay? We take a look at the dry air, and this is it. There was Fernand, and then we got the pretty much the rest of the Atlantic here. And there's a lot of plume and dust air actually going on right now, even into the lower atmosphere. Look at that. We got dry air all the way into these areas. That's why there's no activity right now. If it was, we'll probably be in a pretty active phase here of the MJO because we're technically in phases 4, a week 4, but right now the atmosphere is very dry and in the mid levels and in the upper levels and lower levels. So for that, we do not have any concerns on the tropics. Now I want to take a look at some of the modeling. Okay, this is very interesting, and we're going to just take a look at these runs and see what are we looking at. So on the GFS, seriously, there is nothing. We can go all the way to 10 days, 20 days out, and there's honestly nothing. We do see some tropical waves, a little bit more moisture, maybe something off the coast. But besides that, the Atlantic is pretty quiet on the GFS. It really doesn't get anything going. But I will say there's a lot of tropical waves. And honestly, the conditions are very conducive, especially as we get into September. This is the peak of the Atlantic hurricane season. We got one wave here, another wave coming off, and a wave in the Gulf. Okay, that's how it looks. Besides that, the peak doesn't look anything as impressive. The conditions are there, and the conditions will keep getting there. And we'll have to wait and see. The Canadian, seriously, this Canadian now doesn't really show too much. We do see 2 strong tropical waves, but that tropical wave we were seeing yesterday could go into the main development region has kind of backed off a bit, and it doesn't look like it wants to develop as much as it wanted to yesterday. Also, the European. The Europeans have been pretty consistent on this tropical wave to come off the Africa, go into the Cabo Verde Islands, develop maybe into a tropical depression, and then keep moving. This was 6Z. And 0Z is very interesting. With the Euro, I'm very interested on the 12Z is it actually pops that wave, gets it stronger, and actually has it becoming a tropical storm, even a hurricane just north of Puerto Rico near the Atlantic hurricane peak. That's why I'm not ruling it out. And that's why I'm still saying September 5th to September 10th. I want to wait and see how the Euro does in the 12Z. We might take a look at that. But very interesting to me, where this is 2 days before the peak of the hurricane season. We got Category 2 hurricane here. We got a strong tropical storm in the main development region, and we got another wave back here. And it looks to me another wave right into Central Africa. That's a much busier look than on the GFS, and the Canadian doesn't go out that far, but it was very interesting to me to see that on the Euro this morning. And I'm very interested to see what does the 12Z run shows. And just 12 hours out, there's really not anything to talk about. There's a pretty strong tropical wave coming off Africa by 240 hours out. But that wave that was supposed to come off Africa is not really any more dominant. Kind of never gets its act together. So we'll have to wait and watch. We take a look at the ensembles, because that's very important. And the ensemble forecast, in my opinion, is the European ensembles are picking up more on tropical waves. On the 0Z, there it was. Look at that. A little bit more L's by the peak of the hurricane season. And we'll have to continue to see it and watch that. Nothing here or in the Gulf or in the other parts of the Atlantic besides the main development region. Now I want to take a look at some of the other ensembles. Do we see that with the GDM? All right. Does that show anything? By 312 hours out? And yes, it does. This is actually by the peak of the hurricane season, the 8th or the 9th. And this is by the 8th. Looks to me we got maybe another tropical storm or so trying to develop out of the ensemble forecast here. We'll have to wait and see. And then we take a look at another model. There's a few more in the Caribbean while the main development region is going at it. And then we take the last and lovely model. It's GEFS. Does it show anything? And it does. It shows actually quite a bit of activity. We do see, once again, Central American gyre trying to get started in the Bay of Campeche. But we do see hints of waves coming off Africa. And this is not the only ensembles. It was the European, the GDM, the GD, other one. They all show it to get a little bit more active as we get in later into September. We'll have to wait and see on how they do that this year. But pretty much, for that being said, that's it with the models. And that will be pretty much it on that. Is ensembles, dry air. And that should be pretty much it with the tropics. There's nothing really else to talk about besides